How many of you would love to get your electric bill every month and see the balance due of $0? I know I would. My name is Ryan Cruz, and today I'll be informing you about solar energy, its environmental and economic benefits and potential drawbacks. I have been in the electrical industry for over 10 years, and 4 of those years I've owned my own company. And so I've been around long enough to know that there's an increasing demand for electricity for everything we buy nowadays. For those of you who don't know what solar energy is basically harnessing solar radiation from the sun and then transferring that to a system of batteries for you to use either immediately or at another time. Solar has been making leaps and bounds in the economy. I think solar would be good for the economy because it would create jobs not only in the construction industry but for manufacturing and possibly even global trade. According to the National Solar Jobs Census on solarfoundation.org, 1 of 50 jobs added in the U.S. in 2016 was created by the solar industry, which represents about 2% of all new jobs. Solar energy hasn't gained any traction in Nebraska because there's really no financial benefit. Farmers and residents don't see any financial benefit to it. Power companies have what they call a 25 kilowatt cap. And Nebraska Senator Carol Blood explains this in an interview with the Reader, that being capped at 25 kilowatts means that if you generate more kilowatts than 25, you cannot sell that back to the power company, which basically farmers and residents in Nebraska say, well, it doesn't save me any money, there's no incentive, so why do it? Also, another reason why it hasn't gained too much traction is because it's not very efficient. The way that we get our electricity now is by the burning of fossil fuels, and that is very efficient compared to solar. And there's a quote, Naseri, Muthena, and Douglas Smith wrote an article called Alternative Energy Sources in the Gale Encyclopedia of Science, stating that typical photovoltaic cells convert about 20 to 30% of sunlight that falls on them into electricity, which is not a very high efficiency compared to the way we get electricity now. But with continued research and development, the efficiency can only go up. And also, the way we get our electricity now, the burning of fossil fuels emits a tremendous amount of harmful emissions and greenhouse gases. But solar has no contribution to the greenhouse gases or excavating of Earth after the system is in place. A data analysis released by the U.S. Energy Information Administration in 2016 said that emissions of carbon dioxide by U.S. power sector contributed to about 35% of the total emissions, which is a lot if you think about it. And in Nebraska, the majority of our electricity comes from the burning of fossil fuels, so that affects the air we breathe and the farming industry because global warming, temperatures rise. So a quote by Dr. Ali Khan, who is the Dean of University of Nebraska Medical Center's College of Public Health, said that climate change will exacerbate the severity and frequency of health problems that are already affected by climate and weather factors, and also create unanticipated health problems or health threats in places where they have not previously been. Which basically means that it may not be an issue now, but it could be in the future. In conclusion, you should know a little about solar energy, and its economic and environmental benefits and potential drawbacks. You should also know that solar is not very efficient, and it may take time to convert to solar, especially in Nebraska. And with the recent findings of the global emissions on greenhouse gases that fossil fuel puts on there, we may have to switch to solar before too long.